So good day everyone. So for today, it is our week 7 for our management, leadership, and teamwork. So today we're going to discuss the leadership and teamwork in fire emergency response. So which is very important competency for future deck seafarers. So fire is one of the most dangerous emergencies that can occur on board ship. So on board the vessel. So in many situations, the success of rescue operations does not depend only on the firefighting equipment. So but how well the crew members works and how together and effective the leader in decision making. So in this lesson, we will going to focus on risk-based decision making, no, leadership, responsibilities, and the teamwork coordination and proper management of resources during the emergency. So especially when rescuing a person trapped in a smoke congested area. So as a future seafarers, we're going to eventually responsible for protecting the lives, the ship, and the cargo. So understanding how to lead and how to coordinate during this emergency is very essential for you. No? Kasi syempre, uh, you're leading into a leadership, and in your position as a future seafarers, dapat you know how to lead and to handle such situations. So first, on our learning objectives, LO 3.2, no, our learning outcome for this lesson, which is focuses on preparing a rescue plan for entering a smoke congested area during in a fire emergency. So this means outcome for these lessons, you can should be able to analyze the risk before entering into a hazardous area. Then you're going to organize a team or rescue team and this and assign tasks properly and manage available resources effectively. So remember, in real situation or real shipboard emergencies, time is limited and conditions can rapidly. And because of this, officers must be capable of making fast decision but well-informed decisions. Kahit na gano'n kabilis, dapat yung decisions nyo is make sure na firm and well-informed. No? And this lesson will help us to develop the leadership, the mindset, and teamwork coordination required during the emergency situation at sea. So first, we're going to ask why fires are dangerous at sea. Bakit nga ba dangerous yung fire at sea? Because fire is considered as one of the most dangerous emergencies on board ships because it can spread quickly and threaten both human lives and the vessel safety. No, unlike land-based fires, no, shipboard fires occur in an isolated environment, meaning external help such as the firefighters may be several hours or even days away bago pa makarating sa atin para tulungan tayo. And additionally, fire can damage critical systems such as the navigation equipment, the electrical systems, the propulsion of the machineries, which can make the situation even more dangerous. And another major during the shipboard fire is smoke inhalation. So, which is actually the leading cause of fatalities, no? Once na-inhale natin siya, no, in many fire incidents. Finally, the ships have been limited escape also, no, escape routes, specifically in engine rooms, in cargo spaces. If a crew member becomes trapped, rescue operations must be performed quickly but safely. Again, baka mamaya, once you are the one who rescued and later on, you are also the one who is being rescued, no? Imbes na matulungan niyo sila, you're also additional to the fatalities or on the accident na mangyayari. So, the importance of the preparedness, no, because fires can escalate rapidly, preparedness is very essential. So, escalate rapidly, preparedness is essential for every member on board ship. So, all personnel must understand the fire alarm systems. Now, we have the fire alarm systems, the firefighting equipment, and which you can see on the pictures, no, on the photos, rescue procedures, and emergency communication procedures. So, training and drills are conducted regularly on board, now, as we discussed previously, no, how many times kailangan mag-training on board, no, para maging familiarize or ma-familiar yung crew member and maging prepared at hindi magkaroon ng panic no? So crew members are familiar with their assigned duties and during the emergency. So preparedness also important or improves the confidence and coordination among crew members, which just helps to prevent confusion during the real emergencies. So in short, effectiveness of emergency response depends heavily on how prepared the crew is or before the emergency even happens. Kaya nagkakaroon tayo ng drill or nagfa-familiarize tayo during the drill or we have training before we got on board kasi we need to be familiar before anything could happen on board ship kasi emergency you cannot predict. Then dun lalabas yung leadership 'no, how a good leader are you in terms of there's a emergency on board. So leadership is extremely important during the emergency situations because this situation often involves the stress, the urgency, and also the uncertainty. So the leader of a rescue team, usually an officer, siya yung nagiging leader natin. Usually kung sino yung pinakamataas na position. So, must quickly assess the situation and he determined the fastest course of action. Kung ano yung magiging course of action niya. So, this includes the giving the clear instructions to the team members. So, maintaining a discipline and ensuring that the rescuer themselves are not exposed to uncertain or unnecessary danger. So another responsibility of a leader is to communicate with the bridge. So for example, our leader on the deck is the chief officer. So the chief officer, he will going to relay the informations to the master, which is the master is on the bridge team. So the bridge team is compromised by the duty officer and also a able-bodied seaman who is becoming the helmsman and also if necessary, if you are in a congested area, no, if there's a lot of traffic, you need additional man for the lookout and the master. So kayo si master, the duty officer and the ABs are the one who is the part of the bridge team. Then si chief officer, ire-rely niya kung ano yung nangyayari sa deck if the fire is on deck. Then ire-rely niya sa bridge team, which is the master. So the master will going to make a course of action. So that is the another responsibility of a leader to communicate on the bridge and other department so that the entire ship crew is aware of the situation. Hindi clueless si master kung ano yung magiging course of action niyo. So most importantly, a good leader must remain calm under pressure. Baka mamaya you are the leader but you are the one who is showing to the members that you are panic. Paano magiging kampante yung member mo if ikaw mismo sa sarili mo hindi nila nakikita na you're in control of the decisions. So the good leader must remain calm under pressure and because of the panic of the leader can easily spread to the entire team. Once na makita ng team na you are not incapable or you're incapable to do such decisions, again, your members will be also will going to be or magpapanik din sila. Then doon lalabas yung teamwork. So teamwork in fire of rescue operations. So fire rescue operations cannot be performed by a single person. Kailangan tulong-tulong tayo diyan pagdating sa isang emergency. Hindi kaya ng isang tao lang yung fire. No, so fire rescue operations cannot be performed a single person. So they require effective teamwork and coordination among the several crew members. So during rescue operation, multiple tasks must be done at the same time. So for example, one firefighter may handle the host line. So another may provide the backup support, another may conduct search for the victim, and while the other leader monitors the overall safety and the progress. So lahat meron kanya-kanyang may delegation, every person, meron or every crew member meron kayong assigned task na gagawin in order for all of the uh, in order to mitigate the fire, no? Lahat kayo magpe-perform ng task and that is your teamwork. So for every teamwork to succeed, crew members must practice clear communication. So must practice cooperation, the trust, understanding of their assigned roles kasi without proper teamwork, rescue operations can easily become disorganized or inefficient or worse, pwedeng maging dangerous pa in case Imbes na matulungan niyo yung bawat isa 'no, nagkakaroon pa ng misunderstanding, yung assigned roles nag-aagawan pa. So with this, form or structure, duties and responsibilities, magkakaroon kayo ng clear communication and mapa-practice niyo yung cooperation with each other. And you build the trust kasi alam niya yung gagawin niya because that is the role which is assigned to him or her na gagawin niya. Then understanding the assigned roles will be competent for each other and you will going to work as a team. So for that, without proper teamwork or rescue operations can easily become or disorganized or inefficient. Then doon papasok yung ating risk-based during the decision making. So risk-based decision making is a process in which it is used to evaluate potential hazards before taking action. Hindi yung bara-bara, hindi yung ganito yung gagawin diyan, but you are also thinking before you do an action. So in fire emergencies, this approach is very important because entering in a smoke-filled compartment without proper assessment can expose rescuers to a serious dangers. So some of these dangers include the toxic smoke inhalation, no? Baka mamaya dire-diretso kayo pumunta without knowing na kailangan niyo ng fire breathing or self, SCABA 'no, self-contained breathing apparatus 'no, so dapat alam niyo na the danger must have like toxic smoke inhalation, puwede rin magkaroon ng oxygen deficiency or flashover black draft and even structural collapse. So because of this risk 'no, the rescue team leader must always analyze the situation first before ordering entry into the affected area. So this ensures the rescue operation is conducted safely and effectively as possible. Hindi yung, sige pumunta ka dun or ito yung gawin mo 'no, dapat you as a leader, you know how to analyze or to organize things or you have a risk assessment first before you do or before you order a job para apulihin yung apoy or pasugurin yung bawat team members. Then, ano ba yung risk assessment process? So this risk assessment process is typically follow a four important steps. So first step is the hazard identification. So in hazard identification, where we are going to organize the possible dangers. So such as the high temperature, toxic gases, or poor visibility. No, i-a-assess mo muna siya. Then once you assess this, no, the second step is the risk evaluation, where you are going to determine the serious hazard. For example, na-assess nyo na. And the assessment is the hazard na pwedeng mangyari is intense heat. So for this, i-evaluate nyo ngayon yung intense heat. So we're going to determine how serious the hazard is and how likely to cause harm. So if it is intense heat, ano yung dapat na proper PPE na susuotin nyo? 'No, para maiwasan niyo yung hazard na puwedeng mangyari. So once you evaluate, you're going to have a risk control. So this involves the implementary of safety measures such as using the breathing apparatus. Ngayon, once na in-evaluate niyo na siya, so alam niyo na ngayon kung ano yung susuotin niyo para makontrol yung, ah, heat intense heat. So kapag na-evaluate niyo na 'no, ngayon gagamitin niyo kung ano yung kailangan na safety measures such as using the breathing apparatus or the protective gear and the reliable communication system. Then once you already control the risk 'no, you have the final step which is the monitoring. So where the team continuously observes the situation to see if the conditions are improving or becoming more dangerous. No, this process help us to ensure that the rescue operations are planned carefully and rather than performed blindly. No, kasi dapat step by step yung process bago nyo mag-jump into conclusion na ganito dapat yung gagawin nyo. Now, first, identify the risk, then evaluate the risk, then measure how you going to control the risk, then finally you need to monitor the risk if it is going to improve or become worse. Then meron tayong task management in emergency operations. So task management, it refers to the proper organizations and assignment of responsibilities during the emergency operation. So if the tasks are not clearly assigned, crew members may duplicate tasks or neglect the important duties or create confusions during the critical situation. Just for example, no, hindi nagkaintindihan, nagkaroon tuloy ng fatality. So by assigning or for example, during the fire rescue operation, different tasks may include the fire suppression, search and rescue, ventilation, boundary cooling, and even safety monitoring. So by assigning this properly, the team ensures that all necessary actions are performed efficiently. Then effective task management, no, it helps us for the manpower and reduces the operational mistake. So, again, with proper organization, with proper delegation, it will maximize the manpower and reduces the operational mistake. Then meron naman tayong tinatawag na workload management. So for our workload management, now firefighters or firefighting operations require both and physical strength and mental concentration. So if a crew members are overloaded with multiple responsibilities, no, yung sobrang daming responsibilities na binibigay sa'yo, they may experience fatigue or reduce the awareness kasi increased risk of the accident. Kasi for the reason, no, leaders must monitor the workload of each team member and rotate tasks when necessary. Kaya kailangang i-rotate yung ano, yung task or yung responsibilities if necessary. Eh, paano kung hindi available yung tao na dapat gagawa ng task na yun? Paano kung yung taong yun, siya mismo yung, nasa panganib? Eh, kailangan ng trabaho or ng task na yun. Siya yung maghahawak dapat ng fire extinguisher or the fire hose. Eh, paano kung siya ay nasa panganib tapos sino yung maghahawak? So, making the rotation for the responsibilities makes all the person or the crew member aware kung ano yung gagawin. But then again, lagi niyong tatandaan once na magkaroon ng, master station or the master list, you always check if nabago yung inyong, delegate task or inyong, station bill. Kasi baka mamaya mag-perform kayo nun, hindi naman pala kayo yung naka-assign. Always check your duties and responsibilities. Normally hindi siya binabago, pero during the drill, binibigyan kayo ng opportunity na ipakita kung ano yung dapat gawin kasi para ma-aware kayo kung ano yung or kung ano yung task just in case na hindi available yung tao na naka-assign doon sa task na yun or hindi available yung tao na naka-assign dun sa duties and responsibilities. So by doing that, kind of a practice on board makes you aware and be more responsible and attentive once na magkaroon ng emergency on board. So again, for this reason, leaders must monitor the workload of each team member and rotate the tasks necessarily. So workload management ensures that no individual becomes too exhausted with the duties and responsibilities, which is also help maintain the safety and operational effectiveness. So proper work distribution also improves the team performance during prolonged emergencies. Then meron tayong tinatawag na resource management. So for our resource management, it refers to the efficient use of available personnel, equipment, and information during the emergencies. Important resource during firefighting operations includes the self-contained breathing apparatus, the communication systems, the fire hoses, the extinguishers, and the trained crew members. So if these resources are not properly or even well trained, personnel are not if these resources are not used properly or even a well trained team may struggle to control the emergency. Good leaders are need to ensure that equipment is used effectively and personnel are assigned according to their skills and training. Baka mamaya inassign ka dun sa part na yon, tapos you are not aware kasi you did not undergo such training like that para i-perform yung task na binigay sa'yo ng leader. So, dapat you know how to operate the FTBA, you know how to, um, use the fire hoses and fire extinguisher. Alam mo dapat yung communication systems like the GMDSS, the SAR, Search and Rescue, the EPIR, VHF. So, aware ka dapat. So, if you are, for example, you are a ratings tapos dinala ka sa communications, hindi, you're not aware kasi you're not an officer, hindi ka aware kung ano yung paggamit ng GMDSS. So, how you going to perform such tasks like communication system? So, something like that, that the leaders must know that the person he is assigned to a such duties and responsibilities must aware or exposed to a skilled or training na ipe-perform. So, proper resource management, it increase the chances na magkaroon ng successful controlling to the fire and rescuing the victims. Then pagdating naman sa, entry planning for the smoke congested areas 'no, before entering a smoke-filled area, the rescue team must first develop a clear and structured, entry plan. So this includes the determining the location of the trap individual and accessibility of the compartment, and the presence of heat such as the fire sources. So all rescuers must wear complete protective equipment, including the helmets, the fire suits, or even the gloves and breathing apparatus. So with this, the team must wear complete protective equipment. No. Then the team also must also check the air supply of the SCBA and the and establish communication with the command center, which is the bridge. So planning is extremely important because it reduces the possibility of secondary casualty among the rescue team. Baka mamaya, sabi ko nga kanina baka mamaya nagre-rescue na kayo, bandang huli kayo ay ire-rescue din kasi imbes na na-rescue niyo yung taong ire-rescue niyo, bandang huli kayo din ay isa pa sa mga casualty na kailangang i-rescue. Ano nga ba yung dapat pagdating sa rescue operation procedure? So, typically, operation follows step-by-step procedure. So, first, ang dapat niyong gawin is, situation assessment. So, with the situation assessment, the severity of the fire 'no, yung pinaka anong tawag dito? How the fire is kung napaka-severe niya 'no, the location of the victim must be determined. Then second is the preparation. So, where the rescue team gathers the necessary equipment and protective gear. Then third, you know how to controlled entry, where the team enters in the smoke-filled compartment carefully while maintaining communication. Then fourth, you need to have a search and rescue where systematic search patterns are used to locate the victim. Then fifth is the evacuation. So evacuation, which team is safely removed from the hazardous area. And lastly, finally, the sixth step is the post-rescue care, no? Where the victim receives a medical attention and their conditions is being assessed after the incident na nangyari. Communication is very important because it is one of the most elements during the emergency operation. So, effective communication allows team members to coordinate their actions and report the progress and respond quickly for changing the conditions. So, common communication methods on boards includes the portable radios, the hand signals, emergency alarms, and bridge communication system, which is dapat exposed na kayo diyan kasi kumukuha kayo ng GMDSS ngayon. So where communication is clear and consistent, leaders are monitor the situation effectively and make better decisions. So poor communication, on the other hand, can lead to delays, confusion, and increase the danger during the rescue operations. Then nagkakaroon ng challenge pagdating kay leaders, pagdating sa emergency. Kasi leaders may face many challenges during the emergency situation. Siyempre nagkakamali din si leaders. So, bago magkamali nagkakaroon siya ng mga challenges na kinakaharap. Ano ba yung mga challenges na kinakaharap niya 'no? So, one challenge is limited time to make decisions kasi siyempre kailangan mas mabilis ka kaysa dun sa nangyayaring disaster. So, since emergencies often develop very quickly, another challenge is the incomplete information, where the leader may not know the exact condition inside the fire attack area. So there's also pressure from the crew members and rapidly changing conditions which can make decision more difficult. And also to overcome these challenges, effective leaders may stay calm, prioritize crew, and safely maintain clear communication and adapt the decisions when new information is becoming available. So let us now consider this scenario. So for this scenario, a crew member is reported trapped in the smoke-filled compartment near the engine room. So as a future deck seafarers like you must think about how you should respond to this situation. So first, you must consider such questions like the what hazard must be considered before entering the space. Sabi ko nga sa inyo dapat yung meron kayong risk assessment. Then ano ba yung equipment na kailangan dalhin ni rescue team para ma-prepare kasi na-identify niyo na yung hazard. Then third, you should task be assigned among crew members. Sino ba yung aware dito sino ba yung capable gumawa nito, sino yung nag-undergo ng training para magawa yung task na yun. Then the leadership actions are necessary to ensure the successful rescue. So this scenario allows us to apply risk-based decision-making and teamwork principles that we discussed earlier. So to conclude the successful rescue operation in these smoke congested areas depend on the several important factors. These include the strong leadership, effective teamwork, proper risk management and organized task management, and efficient use of the resources. So for as future maritime officers, you must develop these competencies because this safety of this crew and vessel may depend on your decisions and during emergency. So always remember that safety at sea is not only about advanced equipment or technology, but also on how you well train the crew or work together under strong and responsible leadership. Again, no, before we end the discussion, no, let us uh, end this with a quote. No, so a ship's safety is not determined only by its technology, so but the leadership and the teamwork of the people who operates it. Okay, so that is the end of our discussion. If you have a question, just raise your virtual hand. Then not, if wala naman, if none, no, you can take a break and help break, no. You can take also a breakfast for 30 minutes. Then while juggling for having a break, you can also make a review because we're going to have a quiz, no. So you can take a break for 30 minutes. After that, we will going to have a quiz about for our discussion. Okay, so if there's no question, no, you can take a break. Kung meron naman, just click the virtual hand, and we're going to discuss your or entertain your question. So thank you very much for your listening.